I can read it again if anybody needs it read. We have a motion to approve and a second. Mr. Secretary, could we have a
Comment or questions?
I paused. I should have said questions or comments. I
Okay.
apologize.
Mr. Snell, what will it cost if we don't find a taker for this building? Well, first of all, how many interested parties do we have so far?
I believe we have another year that the students need to be in it. We are starting to look, and you as a board member could also help with that, as all the other board members, coming up with ideas, talking to the community and getting ideas from the community. That would help you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Snell. The question was, how many parties do we have right now that are interested in it?
We haven't started the search yet.
Is the answer 0?
We haven't started the search
The answer
yet.
is 0. Could you tell me if that number remains 0 and we're stuck with this building, could you give me an idea, give us all an idea of what the annual cost will be to maintain it and the upkeep? Do you have a number for that?
No, you don't.
I don't want to keep it. I don't know. No, I would not have a number. I would expect that before that you would even propose such a thing, that you should know what our risk is. We're nowhere near ready to vote on this. We have basically, here's what we have to go on. We have Ron Snell telling us we're going to save $700 and some thousand by not tearing it down. Period. I don't think anybody would be comfortable with that.
No.
And we need more information. We need a lot more information.
First of all, we don't have Ron Snell telling us that. We have the experts that you hired and that you have trusted up to this point, and now all of a sudden we don't trust them.
No, let me reword that. I'm sorry, you're correct. You're correct. Yeah, you're correct. I'll reword that. We have a figure of, say, $775,000 that we're going to save today. Why not tearing it down? What I want to know is, we're not, like I said earlier, we're not real estate speculators. And even if we were, we wouldn't go for something like this. Because we're looking at, if I'm not mistaken, quite some time ago, maybe a year ago or whatever, I think Scott told us to refurbish that building, to bring it back to what it once was. I think, Scott, correct me if I'm wrong, did you throw out a figure of $3 million?
I don't want to shout
I'm not
the
looking
number.
into this.
I think it was around a little north of $2 million, and that was total renovation cost, not factoring in the cost savings from that. That was, as we looked at it in the study for educational purposes up to today's standard. So certainly, if the paint comes in there, that cost could decrease theoretically. But yeah, for purposes of the school, I think it was around $2.2 million to renovate that.
2.2.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Scott.
To make it for a school.
Correct.
Okay, so Mr. Snell, if we keep this building, how will that benefit the students? How will that benefit the taxpayers? How will that benefit the school district? How will that benefit anybody? What's the educational value? What's the educational purpose? That's what we're here for. We're here for to provide for the students. So how will this provide for our students, keeping that old building?
Well, one thing that will be looked at and has been suggested and it will be looked into is for the district to start a latchkey program in there and getting students that need taken care of before school and after school, and even if it just pays, even if it's not a moneymaker, but it just pays for the upkeep of the building, it'll be a plus to this community because the community will also be able to use the building.
Okay, we have commitments?
Not yet. Research.
I asked Mr. Snell.
I'll give you the same answer she gave you. She's a board member, and I believe that her voice is just as strong.
That's fine, just give me the answer. Do we have a good?
Mrs. Johnson.
I just started the research, so no, not right now.
Okay, so this is all just a gamble. That's what this is. This is we're rolling the dice. We don't have anybody interested. We have no commitment from anybody. We have a building that needs a lot of repair. As Mr. Cousin just noted, you're looking at like 2.2 million. You'd have to put at least $1 million into it. There's nobody going to come along and take use of that building and put money in to renovate it without expecting a long-term lease. And you can't.
Mrs. Cousins, there's a big difference between renovate and repair. Am I correct?
Well, it all depends on use. Like I said, we evaluate it for educational purposes. Obviously there's code deficiencies in there, which I think some of them have been addressed. There's structural issues on the floor. Off the top of my head, I can tell you what it would take for another purpose.
The biggest codes violations that's left, I believe, are aren't they the rafters that need repaired properly, and the flooring that needs floor joist needs.
Well, what would be it? In other words, if you're talking about the list that we have right now,
Yes.
based on our present usage and all, in terms of that building, we were mostly finished with the stuff that we felt was the most concerning, okay? Actually, I think there would be some consideration by CKCOG too, depending on how we decide how things would go. There are some things like railings and that type of thing. I'm ready to go. I have the information I need. But I haven't quite pulled the trigger because it depends on what we do. Okay? And CKCOG is very cooperative that way. Meeting with them again Tuesday. We're going to go over our list and see where we are. I'll be able to report better maybe the next meeting. But as I say, we've done the things that seemed the most concerning in that building. And CKCOG is satisfied with where we are.
So we're still discussing this, now we're talking about latchkey. So we're talking about putting preschool children in there, or even children who are, and I understand what latchkey is, elementary children. We're going to put children in this building. Do we have any idea how much money we would have to put in that to make that a suitable structure to keep children in? I'd say you're going to dump a lot of money in it to make it suitable for that purpose. If you wanted to use it, I could see if you wanted to use it for a warehouse or something, but if you're going to actually have it occupied by young children, I'd like to know how much we got to put into it, what our commitment is to put into it to make it acceptable, who's going to take it, how much they're going to pay, how long the lease we're going to get. I mean, we are not anywhere close to even making a decision on this. We don't have, the information we have is minuscule. We need a lot more information. This is a big, big gamble. In my personal opinion, 4 years from now, another school board's going to look at that and say, what were they thinking? And they're going to bring a bulldozer in, and then instead of costing $700 and some thousand to knock it down, it's certainly not going to be any cheaper in the future. What we're doing is we're leaving a burden for the next board. If we keep that school, we're going to just leave a burden for the next school board to deal with.
And if we don't save money, we're leaving a burden for the next board too.
If we don't save money. We don't know if we're going to save money. We don't know that. We don't have the information. We don't know what the annual upkeep is going to be on a building, that if it doesn't find an occupant, we end up with a vacant building that we're paying the upkeep and the taxes and everything else on for the next, well, until the next board comes in and they tear it down.
Is that all?
No, it's not all. This is a huge risk that we don't have near the information that we should have to shot in the dark, is all this is. Okay, and I understand Mr. John said they're looking into something, but looking into is just that. We're looking into something. Okay? You can't do this. You can't just tell the taxpayers, you know, we think that we might have a use for it, but if we don't, we'll board it up and you'll keep it up every year.
Mr. Snell, I'd like to ask Mr. Cousins, a latchkey program would that require school code for the upkeep of the building? Do we have to meet the codes?
I believe that's a educational use group, so it would probably be similar. It wouldn't be as rigorous as maybe some of the technology that we're putting in the high school, but pretty
So it'd
similar.
be on the higher end? Than like a daycare or something? Okay, thank you.
You know, Mr. Snell, one of the problems we've always had with the high school here is traffic flow. Okay? So now we're going to put a latchkey in here with elementary children. It was bad enough we had high school kids, you know, traversing the traffic out front. Now we're going to have latchkey students. I think that would personally not be a good use at all. We need more information.
Finish?
Are you?
You may roll call vote, please.
Why waste your time?
Is everyone clear on the motion?
And you're going to read, Brandon?
Do you want me to reread it?
Yeah, please reread the motion and you'll take a roll call vote.
Yes.
Thank you.
Consider approval, change order in the credit amount of $701,200 to Lobar Inc., a credit amount of $17,748.28. Oh, sorry, $14,748.28 to Barfield, the credit amount of $33,578.50 to Silvertip, and add the amount of $20,000 to Lecce Electric for not demolishing the existing 1931 stone building and eliminating the district office addition as defined in alternative bid item GC18, HC6, PC8, and EC16. Contingent on PD approval of Plan Con Part I and contingent on the Montoursville Borough approval of the revised land development plan. Mr. Hagemeyer.
Yes.
Mrs. Johns.
Yes.
Mr. Kunkel.
No.
Mr. Lowe.
No.
Ms. Marriott.
No.
Mr. McCleary.
Yes.
Mr. Ruffing.
No,
Mr. Snell.
Yes.
Mrs. Wright.
Come on, Karen.
ridiculous.
Do the right thing. Do the right thing.